This conference will now be recorded.
Great. So hi everyone. Welcome to this session on parallelism. So as I shared with you in the previous session, that broadly, if I talk about sentence correction, there are broadly three types of errors which you will get in the examination. First is the parallelism error. This is highly common error which is given to you in the exam. Then you will get errors related to tenses, and then you will get errors related to subject verb agreement in the examination. So these are these are some of the prime errors which you will get in the examination. And if you could focus on identifying these errors, you can develop the this accuracy to identify these errors. You will get almost 90 to 100% accuracy in sentence correction questions. This is the trend for the exams. So if you stick to it, if you ace it, you don't need to worry at all when it comes to sentence correction. Now, this is the most out of these three broad categories of errors. This particular error is relatively easiest to identify because it just requires us to read the sentence. It does not require a very strong understanding of tense or verbs, which will be required for other two types of errors. When I talk about writing a sentence, so what exactly is a sentence? Can I say that in sentence I'm expressing my ideas? Whenever I write something, I am writing to express my ideas. I list down my ideas. Now when I'm listing down when I'm listing down my ideas, am I going to use series of words or phrases or clauses to write the sentence? Correct. And these words or these phrases, they are going to talk about a common subject or a common topic or a common gist of the entire sentence, right? So whichever words I'm going to use, whichever phrases I'm going to use, whichever clauses I'm going to use, they require to be in parallel with each other in terms of the grammatical form. So when I say that they need to be in parallel with each other in the grammatical form, what do I mean? What do I mean? Any guesses? If I say that whatever words I'm using, if I say that whatever words I'm using for writing the sentence, all those words or phrases or clauses should be parallel to each other. What do you derive out of it? What do you understand at a very high level out of it? What are the different ways in which I can write no, a particular word? Either I can write it in the present tense, I can write it in the past tense, I can write it in the future tense, right? So if I am writing any word or I am using any phrase or I am using any clause, I am either going to write it in the past tense, I am either going to write it in the present tense or the future tense. Correct? That's one. Second, there are different forms of tenses which we studied in our class 8th, 9th, 10th. We used to study that there is something called simple form of tense. Then there is a continuous form of tense. Then there is no past perfect or present perfect, or then there is a perfect continuous, right? These are the broad four forms of tenses: past, present, perfect, perfect continuous. Then you may even so these are the four broadly used forms of tenses, right? So when I'm talking about how am I going to write, right? So these could there be in either present or past or future. I could write it in simple past, simple present, simple future. I can write in past continuous, present continuous, future continuous. Right? So I can write in different ways, right? Now, is there a possibility that while writing, I may use simple past for one of the words? I end up using past continuous for any of the other words. I end up using past perfect for any of the other words. These could be my action words. These could be any words, which is which I am using to express my idea. So, as rightly said by Harshit and Chandan, whatever words I use, if they need to be parallel, they need to be in the same form. So, for example, if I am using past tense, all my words, all my connecting words, they need to be in the past tense. If I'm writing in present, all my words need to be in present. If I'm writing in past continuous, all words need to be in past continuous. If I'm writing in simple present, all my words need to be in simple present, and so on. Do you get the broad idea of what I mean when I say that words need to be in parallel to each other? Do we get this? Am I clear so far? Now see, there is a sentence in front of your screen. Mary cooked food, laying the table and cleaning the house before the guests arrived. Is this correctly in parallel, or they are not in parallel? They are not in parallel. How do I make it parallel? Does reading this sentence tell me, can I change cooked to cooking? Can I change cooked to cooking? If I read this sentence, if I read the context of the sentence, do you think can I change cooked to cooking? No. So what do I need to do? I will change laying to laid, cleaning to cleaned, right? Mary cooked food, laid the table and cleaned the house before the guests arrived, right? So I will not just blindly change the words to make them parallel. So I will not blindly change cooked to cooking. I will also try to understand the context of the sentence and accordingly go for that form which suits the context of my sentence. Make sense? Now see, another sentence. Even though Tom is not interested in arts, he would rather visit an arts museum than listening to his annoying wife. Can I make visit as visiting? Can I make visit as visiting?
No, sir.
I can't make visit as visiting. So what will I make to listening? What change will I do to listening? Dan listen to his annoying wife. Not to listen, Padmalya. To listen is the right form, but when I will include it in the sentence, I will write than listen. I will not say than to listen, because there it is rather visit, not rather to visit. Do you get it? I will use than listen, not than to listen. Now see, how do I identify? In addition, so one way is where you easily identify those connecting words which we just saw in two sample sentences. But it's not going to be that easy in the examination. So in examination, you will not just find these connecting words so easily, but you need to identify certain marker words in the sentence which will help you to identify that which all words should be in parallel. So for example, if I'm using the word such as, or if I'm using either or if I'm using neither nor, if I'm using the word both, these kind of words which indicate that any set of words after this, they need to be seen as a together group, as a group together. In that case, whatever words fall in that group, they need to be in parallel to each other. Is it clear? Clear so far? Any doubts? Okay, so let's now try to see this concept by exploring certain questions. Let's talk about the first question on your screen. Can you tell me how do you think that the underlined part should be written so that it is in parallel with the first part? All of you are getting C? There is a correlative word, both. We discussed about the marker, both. Both is here. After both, I have the word determination. His determination. What is his determination? The combination of his determination is the combination of pronoun plus noun. Am I correct? His determination after the identifier both is the combination of pronoun plus noun. If my first set is the combination of pronoun plus noun, how am I identifying? His determination. His determination tells me that his is pronoun, determination is noun. So after the word both, which means that any set of words after this needs to be parallel, his determination, pronoun plus noun. I need to have pronoun plus noun after the word and also. So in which of the options do I get pronoun plus noun? Does this make it clear that how do I identify that what should be parallel? Assuming there is no other grammatical error. Do all of us get that why is C the correct replacement? Do we get it now? If I evaluate option number A and the way he paid attention to detail, this is a phrase. The way he paid attention to detail. This is not the immediate combination of pronoun and noun. The way is coming as a blocker in between. Second option, option number B, and also praise his attention to detail. This is focusing on the word praise. This is not focusing on his ability of paying attention to detail. This is a verb focused phrase, praised. This is focusing more on praise rather than focusing on my pronoun plus noun combination. Like determination had to be on attention to detail. Option number D. This again is not parallel. The choice here, if I would have gone for option number D, this lacks my second conjunction of the word and has to be there. How can I use both without the word and? Udeshya, right, that's another way to eliminate. If I read my option number D, how can I say his co-workers praised both his determination, they praised the way he paid attention, and is underlined. Where is and over here? Make sense? And has to be there. I cannot come up with an option which is without and same is an issue with E also. My correct answer will be C. C takes care of my pronoun plus noun. It brings my and word. This makes my sentence perfectly parallel in structure. Correct? Let's try to move to another question. Tell me question number 2. Sonia says D, Isha D, Padmalya D, Sneha D. Everyone so far is going for D. Vani also says D. Anyone who is getting any other option? Anjali says D, Vanshika D. Anyone who is getting A, B, C or E? Anyone who is getting A, B, C or E? Now see, what does this sentence do? This sentence is telling me a list of qualities of Art Studio, correct? This sentence presents the list of qualities of Art Studio, that it is spacious, pleasantly cluttered, has good lighting and all. Now, if I was speaking this sentence, I may find this correct. But when I write and when I'm writing this sentence in a grammatically correct form, this saying it has good lighting is wrong, because it violates my rule of parallel structure. Has good lighting is a verb. It's a verb. My first two sentences, my first two words, spacious and pleasantly cluttered, they are adjectives. They are not verbs. I need to get an adjective. I cannot get a verb. And being well lit, again a verb. Is lit well, again a verb. And well lit, only option with is adjective, and the lighting is good. It is again a clause which is not an adjective. Only option which fits in is and well lit. I can use well lit Art Studio as an adjective for the word Art Studio. Am I correct? So my answer will be option number D, to ensure that my sentence has a perfect parallel structure. See, in initial next few classes, we will take these error types separately, but in every class. So for example, next class, we are going to take up those questions which may have parallel error plus the error of my tense and so on. You cannot change the context of the sentence. Well lit is what we wanted to convey over here. So every class we will move on. We will also keep on covering the previous concepts and start increasing the level of questions, so that you know that how to apply multiple concepts at a go. So by Vani, by using the word well lit, I am not changing the context of the sentence. When I say has good lighting, I actually wanted to say that the room, the art studio is well lit. But my other first two words are adjectives. I have to use adjective, not a verb. Is it clear, Vani? Question number 3. Most of you are saying C, some are saying D, some are saying E. Anjali says B or D. Okay. What needs to be in parallel over here? Is my sentence talking about two actions? One action is obtain the waiver, and second is get the requirements reviewed. Reviewing requirements, obtaining waiver. These are my two major actions. Residency requirement is not an action. Reviewing the requirements is my action. Obtaining the waiver and reviewing the residency requirements. Connected by the word and. Yes, Padmalya. Now, if I read my first action, which is waiver, obtaining the waiver. How is it written? It is written in the form be obtained. Be obtained. What is be obtained? Is be obtained a passive voice? Waiver be obtained. Is it a passive voice? Obtain the waiver. It is active voice. Correct? Obtain the waiver, active voice. Waiver be obtained, passive voice. We all have read this. Correct? So if my first part before my marker word and is my marker word over here. Before my marker word, I have my first action item written in the passive voice. Do I definitely need to write my second action also in passive voice? Passive voice with the focus on the verb review. Passive voice with the focus on the verb review. Am I correct? Now tell me which option will go. Are reviewed, will be reviewed, eliminated. They are not passive. To review, not passive. And the residency requirements reviewed. This is my passive form. That is why I will go for option number C and not go for A, B, D, or E. Is it clear to everyone now? Now, more importantly than just solving these questions, are you able to, and that is why I'm explaining every option, are you able to understand that how to identify that which words need to be parallel? That is very important. Are you able to see that how do we go about identification of those words which need to be in parallel? Is this something which you can develop with practice? Padmalya, look for the marker words. The marker word and, both. Yes, will be reviewed. This is simple future. This is simple future. Udeshya, this is simple future. Padmalya, don't worry. We'll be having good number of classes, so you don't need to worry. Let's discuss question number 4 on your screen. Question number 4. Padmalya, what are you getting? Bani, you are getting D? What is happening over here? Some of the many renovations set for Memorial Field in the coming years include Now I'm going to talk about the list of items which are going to be the part of renovation. Am I correct? After the word include, all my words need to be in parallel because they are going to talk about the list which is the part of my renovations. Am I correct? That the words after the word include, they need to be parallel. All of us agree with this much? Right? In building additional seating. Yes, Padmalya. So building additional seating. Verb ending in ing. Improving safety. Ending in ing. I need to have ing format continue to have my sentence in parallel. Ing format is only there in option number B, and constructing a new varsity athletics center. Do you all get it? I am talking about list of items which are the part of my renovation. So every item in that list of renovation needs to be in parallel. And this was easy to identify because all the words were starting with ing. Building, improving, construct also had to be constructing. Is it clear? Tell me for question number 5. Marker word was including, renovation list including. Some of the many renovations set in the coming years include was the marker word, Vani, because after include I have the list of items. Is it clear, Vani? What are the marker words? Not only x but also y. X and y need to be in parallel. Am I correct? Richard is not only x but also y. Vani, are you able to identify the marker word? Richard is not only x but also y. Is it clear to everyone that these are my marker words? Not only x but also y. Now if this is that, then my correct answer will be option number D, as identified by all of you correctly. All of you have got it correct. D is the correct replacement. Yes, Udeshya, and they are clubbing certain words which are looking at conveying the gist of the sentence. Right? Is this particular question clear to everyone? Padmalya, is it clear to you? Harsh? Okay. Let me move to the last question. The part underlined is starting from among the doctrine of determinism. That is from where we start the underlined part. Give a shot at this one. Okay, tell me what is the difference between and among? When do I use between? When do I use among? When I compare two things, I use between or I use among when I am comparing two things. And among is used for more than two. Between is used for two. So first of all, definitely among needs to be changed to between. So all the options with among are eliminated. Can I do this? And if I'm comparing, if I'm saying between A and B, then that means my A and B, they need to be in parallel. Correct? My marker word here is between, which will first of all replace among, and then whatever I use after that to compare those two things, they need to be in parallel. So if I'm comparing A and B, it's saying between A and B need to be in parallel. So with this, what should be my answer? Option number D. All of you able to understand? Are all of you able to understand this much? Are you getting now how to identify the marker word? Then how to look, go out and look for parallelism? Is it easy once you have identified the marker word? Does it become easy for you? So what I'm saying for this particular, I guess someone asked me to repeat this question. So now see, whenever we compare two things, we use between. Whenever we are comparing more than two things, we use among. Now when I'm using between and I'm comparing two things, I will say between A and B. Now the moment I say between A and B, my marker word is between. It is comparing A and B. So my A and B, they need to be in parallel to each other. What are the two things which are being compared in this sentence? Who is going to tell? What are the two things which are getting compared? Right. Doctrine and free will. Doctrine of incompatibility and doctrine of determinism is another way to see it at it. Are you getting it, Tanya? Tanya, do you have any query? Okay, the philosophical doctrine of incompatibility posits an inherent irreconcilability among the doctrine of determinism, which holds that each state of affairs is necessitated by the states of affairs that preceded it and the existence of free will. So Tanya, where is the confusion? Can you tell me which two paths are you seeing as getting compared? Which two paths? There are two things which are getting compared here. One is the doctrine of determinism and the second is existence of free will. How do I identify it? How do I identify it, Tanya? The moment I read the word among, so definitely whatever is written before among is not getting compared with anything, because the moment I use among or I use between, I can only compare after the usage of this word. So anything which is written before this word is not getting compared with anything. Anything which is written after this word is only getting compared. Does this much make sense, Tanya? That if I have to compare two things using the word among or between, whatever it is, my those things which are getting compared, they need to be written after these words. They cannot be before these words. And what are the two things which are written after the word among? One is doctrine of determinism and the other is existence of free will, which holds that each state, this is the explanation of the doctrine, which holds that each state of affairs is necessitated by the states of affairs that preceded it. This is doctrine of determinism. This is not getting compared anywhere. This is the explanation of the doctrine of determinism. Doctrine of determinism is getting compared with the existence of free will. Is it clear now, Tanya? Everyone, do you get it? That we are comparing doctrine of determinism and existence of free will. Perfect. So next, Vani, don't worry at all. You will be able to do it as we practice more. Apart from sentence 6, I see that in the previous sentences, Vani, you were able to identify them. We will, in the next class, we will move on to errors related to tenses. Plus, we will take up more sentences to solve, which will have errors both of parallel structure and I hope you could learn something new today and you will be able to use it and be able to improve your accuracy. Don't worry, this is just the start. We are going to have quite a few next few sessions lined up around sentence correction. And as we will move forward, you will be able to do things with a higher accuracy. The target which all of us need to keep is 90 to 100% accuracy in sentence correction by following an algorithmic approach where we will check the sentence one by one for the three broad types of errors. And today we have only discussed the first type of error. We are going to discuss the other two type and practice in the upcoming sessions. Okay. Mansi, typically, yes, the shorter sentence has more probability to be correct, just because if we write with crispier words, we possibly take a lot more care of grammar part. Vani, practice is the key. There are a lot of sentence correction topic tests in your course. There are a lot of sentence correction topic tests in your course. Yes, Harsh, I will be taking RCs also. Once we have completed sentence correction, we'll get back to the RCs. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. I'll provide the recording of this session. Thank you and good night.